Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today we would like to present about aviation insurance and travel insurance. Next is our team members. My name is Nabil Akil, followed by Muhammad Khairul Fidaus, Muhammad Kisan, and Nas Naki.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Muhammad Gisan. So I'm going to present about aviation insurance. Introduction. Aviation insurance is insurance coverage geared specifically to the operation of aircraft and the risks involved in aviation. Aviation insurance policies are distinctly different from those for other areas of transportation and tend to incorporate aviation terminology as well as terminology, limits, and clauses specific to aviation insurance. Aviation insurance was first introduced in the early years of the 20th century. The first ever aviation insurance policy was written by Lloyd's of London in 1911. The company stopped writing aviation policies in 1912 after bad weather and air mid causes crashes and ultimate losses on those first policies. The first aviation policies were underwritten by the marine insurance underwriting community. The first specialist aviation insurance emerged in 1924. In 1929, the Warsaw Convention was signed. The convention was an agreement to establish terms, conditions, and limitations of liability for carriage by air. This was the first recognition of the airline industry as we know it today. So next is factors affecting the aviation underwriting risk. Underwriters set their premiums from which to pay the claims. The premium charged for most of the hull risks are calculated as a percentage of the sum insured. General factors affecting the risk are: first, experience of the aircraft as reflected by underwriters' experience and opinion. Next is new equipment can also change the complex of the risk, such as new landing gears, simulators, and also navigation system. Number 3, each type of an aircraft goes on an experience curve as the type introduced, used, modified, or fixed with more advanced machine. Number 4, pilot experience directly affects the risk in general aviation mostly. Lastly, the use of the aircraft, or in the case of product liability, the purpose of the manufactured equipment. Besides that, geographical limits, as they are related to the temperature, natural hazard, landing facilities, or communications, and mostly to the political situation of the certain areas in the world. In this case, geographical areas exclusion clause is applied. So next is type of insurance. Aviation insurance is divided into several types of insurance coverage available, which is: first, passenger liability insurance. Passenger liability protects passenger riding in the accident aircraft who are injured or killed. In many countries, this coverage is mandatory only for commercial or large aircraft. Coverage is often sold on a per seat basis with a specific limit for each passenger seat. Next is combined single limit. CSL coverage combines public liability and passenger liability coverage into a single coverage with a single overall limit per accident. Next is in-flight insurance. In-flight coverage protects an insured aircraft against damage during all phases of flight and ground operation, including while parked or stored. Naturally, it is more expensive than not-in-motion coverage, since most aircraft are damaged while in motion. Next is ground risk hull insurance not in motion. This provides coverage for the insured aircraft against damage when it is not on the ground and not in motion. This would provide protection for the aircraft for such events as fire, theft, vandalism, flood, animal damage, wind or hailstorm, hangar collapse, or for uninsured vehicles or aircraft striking the aircraft. So next is ground risk hull insurance in motion. This coverage is similar to ground risk hull insurance not in motion, but provide coverage while the aircraft is taxiing but not while taking off or landing.
So for the aircraft hull policy, the insurers agree to insure the hull body of the aircraft against loss, damage arising out of an accident occurring during the policy period as per AVN1C insurance policy wording, which is for hull and liability insurance and use worldwide. For the loss of damage to the aircraft is divided into three parts, such as coverage, exclusions applicable, and condition applicable. The insurers pay for replace or repair the accidental loss or damage to the aircraft described in the schedule part of the insurance policy arising from the risk covered, such as flight, taxiing, and ground. The amount to be paid in the event of a total loss is set at inception on the agreed value basis. Only the aircraft which are not anymore produced or spare part hard to find in case of partial loss are usually insured or insured value basis. If the aircraft lost and disappeared in flight and remain unreported for 60 days, then will be covered as a total loss. Besides that, if the aircraft is insured for flight risk, insurers will pay reasonable emergency expenses necessarily incurred by the insured for the immediate safety of the aircraft in the event of the damage to the aircraft or forced landing. However, if an foreign object is drawn in by section of the engine and causes damage to the compressor blades and even to the core of the engine is covered if it is attributable to a single recorded incident and damage to other parts of the aircraft consequent upon the damage by ingestion would be covered. Next, I would like to share the conclusion about the article of Malaysian Airlines tragedy to impact aviation insurance on MH17. The shooting down of a Malaysian Airlines Boeing 777 in Ukraine might lead in insurance premium rates in war risk category. The aircraft crashed over eastern Ukraine MH17, killing all 298 on board is the second loss for the airline in 4 months. In the latest incident, Malaysia Airlines is likely to pay the claim arising out of the crash. This means an increased premium going forward. However, the rise would be marginal as there are several insurers who can offer cover at competitive prices. Insurance company will need to discuss the measures, and such riders could be introduced only after consensus. MH17 cases is a one-off incident where Hull War and allied perils insurance legal liability to third parties, legal liabilities to passenger, and loss of license policy of a crew would be invoked if the missiles attack is proven. Insurance for airlines also include cover provided to crew member against any injury, disability, partial or total, and death. There are limited market players in aviation. Normally, a lead line would be approximately 10% in size. Due to this limitation of aviation reinsurance, any major airlines loss would impact most of the players. So next is aviation insurance rate likely is to increase following crash on MH370. Both parties are believed to have paid the whole claim of just over $105 million, equally 50-50 between the two policies, with the scope for an adjustment if the uncertainties is later resolved. The senior manager aviation insurance at Bajaj Allianz General Insurance said the age of the fleet, seating capacity, pilot experience, maintenance, and internal safety norms, apart from the increase in claim occurrence frequency, are crucial. In case there is an increase in the number of claims, this would imply the safety or maintenance norm have been compromised, and it will affect the price. There are no specific norms to have additional premium for flight operating or flying more frequently to sensitive, war-stricken, or terror attack-prone areas. However, if such incident continues, insurers said they would consider having such riders or restrictions for militant attack-prone areas. In MH370 missing accident, a consortium led by Germany Airlines was involved in paying the claims. Insurance markets such as Lloyd's of London are also said to be involved in this process, although the exact quantum of payment is not known. Lost track record of previous 3 to 5 years of a particular airline is also taken in consideration. International
Assalamualaikum. First of all, my name is Nabil Akil. So next, I will present about travel insurance. So what is travel insurance? Travel insurance is an insurance product for covering unforeseen loss incurred while traveling, either international or domestically. Basic policy generally only cover emergency medical expenses while overseas, while corporation policy typically include coverage or trip cancellation, lost luggage, flight delay, public liabilities, and other expenses. Next is common benefit for travel insurance. So they have five common benefit for insurance. So the first one is medical. So in the event of a minor injury of or illness overseas, medical benefit offer coverage for visit to general practitioners, medical, ambulance fees, and limited district benefits. In the event of hospitalization, most travel insurance policy include emergency assistance service, which can offer guarantees of payment to hospital for treatment, and organize transfer between hospital or medical evacuation back to insured persons country of origin. More comprehensive policies include an emergency complaint cover so that family members can remain with the insured person while in hospital. In the event of death overseas, medical benefit section typically include cover for repatriation of remains to insure person the country of origin or funeral overseas. The second one is cancellation. Comprehensive travel insurance policy include cover for any cancellation fees or lost deposits relating to cancellation of the insured a person trip for arranged for unforeseen and unexpected circumstances. This include illness or injured, natural disaster and bad weather, strike and riots, hijacking and family emergencies. So the third one is alternative transport and travel expenses. Many policy include benefit for alternative transport, accommodation and meal expenses if transport provide is delayed by a certain period, provided any layover time meet the criteria in the policy. Policy may also include a benefit to purchase essential item like clothing and toilet in the event baggage is delayed by an airline. So the next is luggage. Luggage benefit cover for loss, damage of theft of personal effect during one journey, including passport and other travel document. It may also include limited benefit for theft of cash. So last but not least, public liability. This cover legal liability as a result of the claim made against the covered party for bodily injury or damage to property of other person.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So my name is Muhammad Khairul Firdaus bin Muhammad Noor. I'm from Bachelor Industrial of Management. So now I want to present another main point from this topic about optional benefit. So I have two main point from this topic, such as pre-existing condition and activity. So in addition to their base policies, many provider offer coverage for declare. So pre-existing conditions is example such as like asthma, diabetes, cancer and another so on. So the second one is activity. Higher risk sport and activity such as like skiing, trekking and high altitude, scuba diving, rental car damage and cruising. Next main point I want to discuss is common exclusion. What is a common exclusion? Common exclusion is all about insurance issue. Insurance company issuing will often exclude coverage for ongoing known event to new policies and may announce long-term exclusion for specific event. For example, I can give such as a volcanic activity from a current active volcano. As a travel insurance is a risk based product. as a many policy which exclude event which may be far-reaching and poorly quantity risks such as pandemic and endemic of war and tourism. Some policies exclude travel certain country or part of this country, whereas a greater risk is expected. This determination are often made based on official government travel advice from organizations such as the US State Department or the Australian Department of Foreign Affairs. So the next is I want to share with you all about other common exclusion in travel insurance policies include undeclared pre-existing medical condition, unlicensed operation of motorcycle, travelling for the purpose of receiving medical treatment, elective surgery or treatment, injury or illness caused by reckless activities such as careless driving, use of alcohol, use of recreational drugs. That's leaving belongings unattended, participating in high-risk sport activities such as scuba diving, extreme sport, and the last one, the travel against government advice and recommendation. Next main point I want to discuss is common exclusion. What is a common exclusion? Common exclusion is all about insurance issue. Insurance company issuing will often exclude coverage for ongoing known event to new policies and may announce long-term exclusion for specific event. For example, I can give such as a volcanic activity from a current active volcano. As a travel insurance is a risk-based product. As a many policy which exclude event which may be far-reaching and poorly quantity risks such as pandemic and endemic of war and tourism. Some policies exclude travel certain country or part of this country, whereas a greater risk is expected. This determination are often made based on official government travel advice from organizations such as the US State Department or the Australian Department of Foreign Affairs. So the next is I want to share with you all about other common exclusion in travel insurance policies include undeclared pre-existing medical condition, unlicensed operation of motorcycle, travelling for the purpose of receiving medical treatment, elective surgery or treatment, injury or illness caused by reckless activities such as careless driving, use of alcohol, use of recreational drugs. That's leaving belongings unattended, participating in a high-risk sport activities such as scuba diving, extreme sport, and the last one, they travel against government advice and recommendation. Alright, the next main topic that I want to present is compulsory travel insurance. What is compulsory travel insurance? Compulsory travel insurance is about sufficient travel insurance proof. Certain countries require foreign visitor have proof of sufficient travel insurance as a condition for granting a visa or approving a visa-free entry. This include traveller applying for a Schengen area or UAE visa and all visitors to Cuba, Turkey and Belarus. Thailand and Egypt have announced plans to introduce similar requirement. The next, tower companies and cruise provider may also require passengers possess a minimum level of travel insurance before the travelers can commence their journey.
Okay, so this is issue that happened before this. Hasrat Sahum Ahmad, to celebrate the success of his daughter Nur Amalina Sahum, received a master degree at the graduate ceremony in the United Kingdom on 12 December 2018 was not fulfilled when he suffered a stroke upon arrival in the country. He also suffered a brain hemorrhage and had to undergo surgery at the Charing Cross Hospital, London, to save his life. However, Nur Amalina's efforts were hampered due to bureaucracy from insurance company in Malaysia. The matter was delayed due to the problem of his father's insurance policy in Malaysia. The father buying a VIP travel insurance plan allowed him to redeem medical insurance refund of up to 300,000 ringgit and repatriation at a matching value. The problem is the tourism insurance policy only covers medical costs up to 300,000 ringgit, and now it has increased to 3,000 and 66,000 ringgit. The longer the father is in the hospital, the cost will be continued to reach. Then the hospital estimate the cost to bring the father home is 300,000 ringgit, involving paramedic, bed and medical equipment. So as a result, the insurance company are a bit procrastinating. So that's all for me, and thank you.
This is second issues article that I want to present. This is about luggage damage. Not only ordinary people who also had bad luck when their luggage was damaged during the flight. The versatile host Esimizal was also shocked by the happen to him. The matter was shared by his wife on the Instagram page. According to AC, he had to find a new bag, and if he want to get the compensation for the bag, he would have to bring back damaged bag when he returned to Kuala Lumpur later. What is for sure, the comment space is filled with the expression of those who also receive the same fate with when using the low-cost airline service. What I can share for based on this case, luggage benefits cover the loss damage of the theft of personal belongings during a person journey, including a passport and other travel document. It may also indicate limited interest for cash theft those which have such problem compensated with travel insurance. That's all for me. Thank you.